Okay, so I'm tired, but I try to keep going or whatever, especially like after I get off work or just in general. Whenever I just have a little bit more time, I'll try to make another video. But I just want to say this: if you've ever seen the movie Spill and it came out last year, like when you if you notice, like he couldn't fight the lady back regular, he had to get her back by getting her book and reading something, and like towards the end of the movie, and he did something to kind of like reverse what he did, and that's how he was able to kill her or whatever through spell work and stuff. But if you notice when he first got that book and he was reading it, it's just like when you first come in contact with something like that, or you really when you hear about it, it's unbelievable. Cause yeah, like all your life you hear about witches and stuff, and you match witches with certain type of looks. Like you automatically think, even if you don't think the pointed head, you automatically think they have like black nails, or they just look like either very like in an alternative type of way, or if they're black, you just it's just have to have a certain look. That's what we've been taught, and that's misdirection. The most evilest people in the world, the most dangerous, ruthless people in the world, are the people that wear a mask, and you'll never think at all that they would ever be. And when I say witch, I'm talking about like magicians or whatever. Because one thing you have to think about, if people are telling you how to remove stuff, they're telling you what these people are doing and how to. Number one, they can see exactly what they're doing, so they know exactly how to take it off. So they let you know that they're working for the team of light because they're trying to help you or whatever. But at the same time, it's kind of like people categorize stuff in one big category. So it's different levels of healers and stuff. So we'll just say that's what I've come to learn or whatever. Everybody isn't. When you say witch, everybody just isn't bad or whatever. It's just it depends on what you're doing or whatever. Like when you speaking stuff into existence, like people could say I'm a witch or whatever for doing spell reversals or whatever, or saying words and to reveal an unseen enemy and stuff. It's like this world is spiritual, and once you start finding that out, you're like, wow. You're like, okay, so if people are praying against your downfall, doing death spells on you, yes, you're being naturally. Before you find it out, you're being naturally protected by the Most High, but you still be affected in certain ways by some of the things that they throw out, even if it's not death. If they're doing stuff for the voodoo doll and poking holes in it, yeah, you can pray all day, but to a certain extent, it's like you have to pray against that or do a reversal, stop, 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 to exactly immediately stop it. So that's one thing I've learned or whatever. Just it's a whole nother different type of world. Some people are born into this stuff. Some people like when you hear Joe Ramirez, and even I say I think he's still a part of it, but when he was 8 years old, he went into that, and it's like when you get deep into Satanism, and where you're to the point where you're doing graveyard spells and stuff, or just in general death spells, or doing that evil demonic stuff, you have to realize, number one, you have to watch the person you're doing it against, and then number two, just in general, when you conjure up dead spirits or whatever, and for example, okay, let me see, for example, what can I say? So if you're seeing demonic stuff in chants or whatever against somebody, and this is wrongfully done, like they didn't deserve it, and then their spiritual ranking as far as like them being a chosen one or an empath, a good person or whatever, when you know who that person is or whatever, it's like you're conjuring up dead spirits that don't want to be come out of their rest. And then it's like when you send them to those people, and literally I mean, just I don't mean like you're conjuring up and then you see them and then it's like a ghostly thing. I mean, whatever you do physically, as far as like, let's just say you get a piece of paper and you burn it and you're like, I pray this person dies or whatever, or something like that. Just in general, I'm making something up as I go. Then it's like that a deity has to take carry that out. So the person you do it against, if they go to that person in the spiritual realm, and that person has angels surrounding them, then and especially if the person does a reversal, then the spirit is gonna get mad for you keep conjuring it up, and then it's like you conjured them for nothing, so they're going to be enraged that they even were awakened for nothing, and mad because they can't go against the person, especially if they're a demon, and they're going to come for you. And then that's when it's going to be like in a real spiritual sense. This is just what I feel. I feel it's going to be like in a real spiritual sense, as far as like they're going to show themselves to you or whatever you set out, you got to get back, and you never know which way it's going to come back. So that's just how I feel or whatever about it or whatever. Especially when you some people actually they can see spirits or whatever on a certain level. But when you're doing evil demonic stuff, when you okay, let me stop. When you first hear about certain things like that, it catches you off guard because you're like, if you notice when if you follow my channel on my journey, you'll see I'll be like, why are people doing spells to close your chakra, or why do people do spells to make you lose stuff, clumsy spells? It's like because they're demons or whatever. They feel powerful to do that. Usually, people who dabble in spell work are people who are cowards or whatever. I'm not talking about spells like getting somebody back for what they get. I'm not talking about that. People who don't like you and they do spells against you in the background or whatever and wear a smile on their face like they not doing nothing are true demons or whatever. True demons in the human flesh. Because it's like, and you think about it's so many witches in the world. You can run across a witch in the store, be rude to somebody in the store, and then they just go and do a spell on you or whatever, a dark spell to end your life. Yeah, it's like you only people that do that type of stuff are really, really evil, demonic people. Or there's so much stuff out here, conflict magic, what else do they have? Spells to make you lose a job. Spells to make they just everything. People just feel like in general that they're playing God, and God is gonna let it go on and on and on, and then sit you in your place and show you why you're not Him, or whatever. It's just certain. I stop. I get to the point where I stop asking why people do things, and just realize that people are just demons. If you see recently on my videos, I'm like, as you find certain things out, you're just like people just they got a lot of balls. Yes, let me get back to what I was saying about the Truman Show. And I'm sorry, I'm just a little tired. But and I was talking about the Truman Show, about how like you certain chosen ones they're monitored their whole life. Then when you start waking up, these people start getting mad, especially when you start calling them out, and it's like they break out of character or whatever. Just talk to a person, confront them about something, and watch their reaction, and that'll let you know right away if the person is working against you or if the person is a friend or whatever. Just watch how defensive and attitude they get or whatever. Especially if you're trying to figure it out, you just asking a regular question, they get really, really enraged in a certain type of way or whatever. From what I've just noticed about people over the years and stuff, so we'll just say that. But with my family or whatever, I have an aunt or whatever. It was always in my life since I was younger. And, when I was first going through some things with my mom, I remember she was telling me, I told your mom, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you, whatever. And we were real close. I thought we were. And I would confide in her about a lot of stuff. And whenever I would get in trouble, she would come help me or this and that. I had a lot of, I was like, I kind of grew up in a damaged sort of way because I had been through so much trauma in my life or whatever. And I, neglected, abused, whatever. And I could confide in her a lot, her and my grandmother. So, like, what I noticed with my aunt or whatever is that every person I kind of got, like, in a relationship with, and I didn't have too many friends, just like one or two over the years, but maybe associates on and off, but mostly like in my relationships. Every relationship I get in, I notice that she would get cool with the person, or you could call me, or we could talk, and I never really thought nothing about it because it was like I just always thought she was cool or whatever. But now I thought about it, it's kind of weird. It's like she was kind of like trying to get information and monitor or whatever. Because as soon as like I elevated. Okay, after all the turmoil she seen me go through and bailing me out and helping me and stuff, it's like afterwards when I elevated the group, she didn't say nothing about it. But had some, and I found out a lot of things about she was talking about me behind my back with her partners, just a lot of different stuff that this person was doing. They said she was causing a lot of trauma in my life, her and certain relatives, and then go and play the victim and be like, she does this shit. I didn't even know that certain people could make send magic and make you want to do drugs or make you want to drink. Like that's what I'm saying. Only a demonic evil unstable minded person would do something like that. Another reader or whatever, a while back, was saying that somebody was putting trauma on me, just constantly throwing it my way, like wanting me to constantly think about, oh, you're abused, nobody loves you, blah blah blah, just constantly throwing it. But then, and then you react, and then they say, oh, see, that's what I'm saying. People just, the only people that do stuff like that are people that have demons in them. And in order to get possessed by a demon, where at the effect where you're like harming other people and then hiding your hand, throwing stuff out your hand, is if you have to be on a certain vibration to even do that. You have to be already a manipulative to type of person. How do you say, a shady, real low shady type of person to even get, to even be on a low vibration to even get possessed like that. That's why empaths or whatever, true chosen ones, we can get damaged and stuff like trauma, and we go through a lot of stuff. None of us are perfect or whatever, but to a certain extent, it's just some things that we just don't do before an awakening, after awakening. Like we just, it's certain things I just could never do, especially when you fully aware of what you're doing and the person you're doing it to. So that's why I say the only way to even explain it is just, it's just demons. One thing about my aunt or whatever that I noticed, my aunt, she is this is when I first started noticing something fishy. One of her girlfriends or whatever, I don't know who she with now, but one of the ones she was with, they don't really know me. Her girlfriends don't really know me or whatever. And whenever I would see them, it's always respect. I treat them with respect. So one day we were talking, and this is when I moved in over here, when I first moved over here. And we were just talking, having a long conversation. She was like, yeah, because my ex-girlfriend, she did not like you, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm thinking in my head, how the heck, whatever I think and whatever I'm saying, I already told her exactly how I feel in the way that I'm saying it, but in a worse way. So we'll just say that. So it's not like I'm just posting online. Whatever I say, I can confront the person and say it to their face. Unless it's just a situation where it's just like a professional. Just I'm saying, certain situations you can't always speak your mind exactly to a person's face and tell you exactly how low you think they are. So we'll just say that. But she was telling me her girlfriend, oh, she did not like you. Just did not like. And I'm like, first of all, this is way before I got online. How this woman don't like me and she don't know me? And every time I saw her, it was we barely spoke, and she don't really know me. Every time I spoke to her, I always treated her with respect and barely said anything to her. So the only way she could it's not even like a way like, oh, she just didn't like nobody. She like an introvert like me. I don't like being around people. Is the way she's so strongly. So the only way she could so strongly dislike me is if you going behind my back and tell her certain things, like to turn her against me, or whatever, because she don't even know me not to like me or whatever. They haven't seen me act in no type of way where she could even judge me on a level like that. That's like me telling her that one of my ex-boyfriends just strongly disliked her or whatever. And nobody could ever say nothing like that because nobody could ever say nothing like that because I never down talk my aunt like this. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you pay attention to what people say, really just listen. And one of the things I'm working on is everything people do. It's like I have a tendency to call them out. It's like I feel like people sometimes try to play with me and try to make me feel like I'm not as smart as I am, or do stupid stuff, try to make me look crazy. For it's like the account. They doing something I don't know. Somebody, a couple of seconds told me everybody know what's going on except for me, or whatever. But it's like they do certain things trying to make you look crazy. It's like they always do that when people are chosen, and they hear to call out the truth. The first thing I'll do is try to make you look crazy, so people won't believe you, to discredit you. But I know the truth or whatever, and I'm kind of getting past the point of trying to make people see I'm not lying. It's like it's just you either believe it or you don't. And I've already been told and given advice and guidance to stop explaining myself. So we'll just say that. But it's just like you start waking up and you start noticing things. It's like, and people will say you acting funny, but it's not that you acting funny. It's just that you waking up to who everybody really is around you or whatever. It's just people, when people can't control you no more, their true character will come out or whatever. It's just like, it's just the hardest thing about my situation is I just really want to I work hard to a way where I don't have to, depend on nobody or just really need nobody or whatever. Not saying I'm gonna be like mean or nothing like that. I just, it's just if I had the amount of money or to do my own thing, it's like I just bounce or whatever, just disappear and not talk to nobody. But so you can't do that or whatever when you're not in a position to do that. So we'll just say that you have to be very, very careful who you trust as a targeted individual or whatever. I just started looking at at people a certain type of way. I automatically expect betrayal, so I try to keep people at bay now, especially all the stuff I've been going through online and stuff. It's like I just automatically know when you target an individual and a chosen one, the demonic spirits keep hopping in and out of people. That's why when you go certain places or just you meet different people, you're like, why are they acting like that? Not ever disrespect, I never. It's the demonic spirit in them that envies you or whatever, that's jealous of you. And it don't matter what you have, it don't matter if they have more, if you have more, if you, whatever. It's the spirit or whatever that you carry that people don't like or whatever, because of the demonic spirit in them or whatever doesn't like godliness or angels, earth angels, or people that are like God. So we'll just say this. So I just want to make this little late night video. That's all I have to say for now.